Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. You know, there's a lovely old English saying, and it is, "Oh, how the worm turns." Yep. And we have Mr. Jacob Zuma starting to feel like a cat on a hot tin roof as he appears before the High Court in Pietermaritzburg over allegations of corruption. And some interesting developments today. And I'm attaching a video where Jacob Zuma is openly warning other senior politicians in South Africa, including Cyril Ramaphosa, that he's going to spill the beans. Yep, here's another euphemism for you. He's going to spill the beans about what actually went on if he is charged and found guilty. He's going to turn state witness. And he's saying that Bosasa will look like a cakewalk. Now, what has brought about this change in attitude of Zuma? Well, it's quite fascinating. Even though former President Jacob Zuma's legal team told the KwaZulu-Natal High Court in Pietermaritzburg this week that a key witness and co-conspirator in the alleged corruption that led to him being charged was dead, investigators have found him alive and well in Europe. Isn't that interesting? Alan Tettard, controversial former head of Tails South Africa and author of the infamous Encrypted Facts, has been traced. The National Prosecuting Authority received confirmation of his whereabouts after it submitted its court papers on March the 11th. In court documents and in oral arguments this week in Zuma and Tails' application for a permanent stay of prosecution, the court heard from Zuma's team that Tettard was deceased. They have been charged with charges of money laundering, racketeering, fraud, and corruption. Tettard is now deceased and cannot assist the prosecution and me to explain the facts once and for all. This prejudice is indeed insurmountable and grotesque, Zuma said in his affidavit in the current application. You can't make up this shit, can you? Tails only went so far as to submit that he could not be traced. Tettard was a key player in the facilitation of payments allegedly for Zuma's benefit through companies in the Nkobi group belonging to Zuma's former financial advisor and friend, Shabir Sheikh. In 2005, the KwaZulu-Natal High Court in Durban found Sheikh guilty of fraud and corruption and sentenced him to an effective 15 years behind bars. He was released on medical parole after serving a few years in prison. Meanwhile, Tettard could prove to be a crucial witness in the case against Zuma and his former employer. He was the author of the infamous Encrypted Facts, which revealed a R500,000 annual payment by the company to Zuma if he, in exchange, would protect it from investigation into the arms deal and lobby for the company to receive more work in South Africa. The Sunday Times also previously reported on the testimony of lawyer A.J. Suklal, who said during an arbitration matter that Zuma had used a code phrased when he met Tettard on March 11th, 2000, with Sheikh at King House in Durban to signal the bribe. According to the Encrypted Facts, Tettard also devised the code, "I see the Eiffel Tower lights are shining today." The NPA stated in court papers that Interpol had previously not succeeded in tracing Tettard. Comment has been requested from the NPA on Thursday on this matter after advocate Andrew Breitenbach, SC, mentioned to the court that new evidence had come to light relating to witnesses such as Tettard since it filed court papers. The NPA has not responded at the time of writing, and this article will be updated once a comment is forthcoming from the NPA. Well, this video will be updated once we get some updates. Also on Thursday, advocate Willem Trengrove SC pointed out in court the dishonest trickery of Tales, and in particular Tettard, who had agreed to give the NPA an affidavit confirming he was the author of the encrypted facts in exchange for the withdrawal of warrants of arrest issued in his name. There was also a promise of future cooperation. The NPA also agreed to withdraw charges against the Tales subsidiary company, Tint, in the looming Sheikh trial, but Tettard deposed to a second affidavit not long thereafter, which he submitted to the NPA on an unsolicited basis. In this affidavit, he changed his tune, saying he had only written the facts as a record of his own thoughts and crumpled it up and threw it away. He denied that he had asked his secretary Susan Deleek, now believed to be deceased, to type the facts. She had provided the original handwritten note, which was in French, and a copy of the typed facts on a stiffy disk to the NPA. Tettard also declared that he would only be interviewed in France and would not return to South Africa to testify against any person in the matter. Despite this, the NPA, under the National Director of Public Prosecutions, NDPP, Bulelani Nkoka, still withdrew the charges against Tint in the Sheikh matter. The charges were reinstated by Advocate Sean Abrahams, now also a former NDPP, in March 2018. According to court papers, Tettard met with Zuma in Sheikh's presence on 3 occasions in the late 1990s and early 2000s. He subsequently denied these meetings ever took place. Now that Tettard has been found, it is likely the NPA will seek to have him brought to South Africa to testify if and when the Zuma matter goes to trial. The criminal matter against Zuma and Tales was postponed this week to October the 15th to allow the application for a stay of prosecution to be dealt with. It is now year 14 since the NPA first announced that Zuma would be charged. Proceedings are expected to continue on Friday. Now, isn't that quite extraordinary? A, that, they're claiming the guy's dead when clearly he's alive, and B, that it's taken 14 years to get this to come to court. That is just absolute. It's not incompetence, it's corruption within the court process. All right, guys, here comes a video of Zuma threatening other senior politicians. Have a great day, and please remember to subscribe and ring the bell to get all the updates. Take care. Bye for now.
It's been a week of legal and technical arguments, including a last-minute bombshell by Zuma's legal team.
Prosecution should do it without fear or favor. So can't hide some information and leave others. That's my worry.
So do you think your team put up a good case?
Absolutely. Wonderful case.
Zuma's issued a warning to those who are calling for his day in court.
Angaze ngenze lutho nabani. Angaze ngenze lutho nankampani. Ngoba ngangingekho la kuxoxwa ngezikhali. Ngangila mina ngiwu-MEC. Kodwa ngiyanamekwa nje. Angithemba ukuthi abantu abaviki ngami ezonweni zabo. Uma leli cala liqhubeka, amajaji ethi hayi njengoba abameli bambethi alingaqhubeki ngoba libukele phansi isithunzi sami namalungelo ami, njengoba seliqede ishumi leminyaka neminyaka emihlanu mhlambe nofakazi ababe khona sebafa abanye, kodwa ngoba kufuneka boshwe lo Zuma kuthiwa liqhubeke. Ngithi nakulona kungavela abanye obusasa.
The former president has spoken at length about the State Capture Commission of Inquiry, saying he's cautioned those who called for it.
Only ukuba bangilalela. Ukuba nje bangilalela. Kubi manje. Wagriza akaze nje akhulume ngoZuma ukuthi uZuma ubona nje wayepeculatela into engathi shu. Kodwa kwabanye ukhuluma impela sobani bani ngamnika imali ka. Nanka amaphepha. Kubani nganika imali ka.
Zuma is now pleading poverty, saying he can't afford to pay his legal bills. Siphamandla Goke, Peter Maritzburg, KwaZulu-Natal.